The goat stayed outside in a kennel.
She was breeding puppies and they were turning her into the city all the time. You can see where the dog actually bit down so hard that we had to replace them.
The other one was my bedroom, not the whelping room.
My baby, that's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, ma'am. Did you rent an apartment or a house to the defendant?
I rented one of my houses to the defendant.
Was this a written lease?
Yes, sir, it was.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes, I do. And I highlighted the part where, because the house had been completely restored, we pulled permits to add a second bathroom, permits for a garage, permits for brand new electrical, all new electrical, plumbing. The whole place had been completely restored. And so that's written in the highlighted area. And she was allowed to have one animal, and that was a dog.
Didn't say what kind of dog, did it?
No, sir, it did not.
Okay. You're claiming that she damaged your property?
Yes, Your Honor, and I brought some tape with me today to show some of the damage.
When was the tape done?
It was done, the date's on it. She was supposed to be out on July 1st, and she was actually out on the 10th, so it's right after that, in July of 1997.
July of 97?
Yes, sir.
You want to explain anything?
Yes, this is the house, and the two trees. Can I go over there and show you closer?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. These trees right here were allowed to grow that weren't supposed to be part of the property, I'm sorry. Here's the sprinklers. This is going kind of fast. Here's the front porch. This is a 220 air conditioning, dog chewing or goat chewing. I don't know what I was chewing it. This is the front bedroom. Some of the wall was torn in here. You can see where it was chewed here. I don't know if you can see that, where the carpet's been chewed up, paw marks. I was told later by some of the residents in the neighborhood that this was the whelping room. And you can see the damage right here from electrical work being done because I didn't have 220 in the house. And you can see there's some patch mark in the room. And you can't see the carpet that good. But the carpet actually has a square clean spot from where I was told was a whelping box, and the rest was dirty and stained. It's reeked of urine. This is the light fixture that was broken. Here's the tiles in the kitchen. You can see where she replaced them. They're all broken, if you can see them, and they're all loose. And watch, she's going to lift up a tile. If you watch, what happened is she broke the tiles. She wouldn't call me. Instead, what she did, she would try to replace them herself. No. And hold on. And you'll see when she lifts it up. See all the hair under there? There's goat hair, dog hair. Look at all the hair. Never got a call that there was any problems with her. See the spider marks, the cracks in there from heavy objects hitting it? I was told she had big wire cages in the house, which would, if you dropped it with a Rottweiler in there, would cause that. The whole kitchen was destroyed. The walkway through to the back of the house, the only place that was not destroyed, and here's the hair, she's picking it up. This is all dog and goat hair. But the only thing that was not destroyed is where you couldn't get a cage or drop something. Here's the door where you can see where it was pulled out and was loose, like from someone hanging on a dog. We think a dog was in here because there was actually scratch claw marks on the door, dug into the wood, which would be this door right here. This is the yard. This is all landscaped in rock. It was black paper with rocks. You can see all the rocks been moved. One time I saw it, there was so much dog poop back here that I think that the rock disappeared.
Okay. Was the tile in good condition when you moved in, ma'am?
The tile was new when I moved in, but when we were moving in, at the time we were moving in, when you'd step on a tile, it would crack. And I told Ginger at the time we moved in that the tiles were not stable, that they broke. This was initially on moving in, after the original walkthrough.
Were they fixed?
No. I got a
Where
notice.
Where did you keep the dogs and the goat?
The goat stayed outside in a kennel.
What about the dogs?
The dogs, at the time she came around, at the time I was getting ready to leave, most of them were in the garage. But at one time I did have my dogs in their crates inside the house when I was at work.
Did you see all what she said were dog hairs?
Yes, and I did not want to go under every broken piece of, and the thing had to be replaced. She couldn't rent it again without replacing them. So I
Did you cause the damage, or you or your dogs?
All you had to do was walk on the tiles and they would crack underneath
right,
the weight
my
of your
grandson
body.
walked through and they cracked.
The floor is unlevel.
It was unstable, and Ginger, you told me yourself that you had a man look at that, and it was legitimate.
Did she ever notify you about the damage?
No. Oh, yes, she wrote me a letter on...
Oh, that's what I want to find out.
Okay, she wrote me a letter on July 2nd, or July 23rd.
Do you have the letter?
Yes, I do.
After getting the letter, what did you do?
July 23rd, I was gone. I didn't do anything.
When you got back and after
she had already served me with a notice for small claims court, suing me for $5,000.
Your Honor, I also have, Your Honor, notarized letters from people who could not show up today who lived in the area, talking about the puppy mill she was running out of the property. Here's one with the goats.
Puppy mill?
She was breeding puppies, and they were turning her into the city all the time, but because the dogs were so well hidden in the house, in the basement, in the garage, the code enforcement didn't see them, and so they could not do anything because they weren't allowed in the house.
Were you breeding puppies there, ma'am?
Yes, my daughter and I raise show dogs, and I had 1 litter a year.
How many in the litter?
8 to 10.
You have another witness here. What are you here to tell me, ma'am?
I just want to make a statement. I've worked with Mrs. Lang and know her personally for 8 years, and I've been to her residence and just saw that it was a very old house, and she was a very careful housekeeper. So some of the complaints by the plaintiff about the fact that she kept the house in disrepair and clean were not true.
How do you arrive at this $5,000?
Well, she had unpaid rent of $200. After the first 2 years of living there, she just stopped paying on time, and in the rental agreement it does say a late fee, which she was late 21 times at $25 each. The electrical damage, it was brand new electrical. There was panels.
Do you have anything from a contractor?
Yes, Your Honor,
Or
I do.
other paid bills?
Yes, sir. Here it is, my electrician who came in and did the repairs from the electrical that was taken apart.
Let's not do this one at a time.
Okay. Here's for the carpet. And here's
He's in great shape, but all this running back and forth, he's liable to get tired. Just give him all your paid bills. Have you given them all to him?
Right, those are the ones I did not claim paint because I felt that paint was normal wear and tear, and I didn't claim the plumbing that should have been repaired a long time ago. There was a slight leak, and I didn't charge you for that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not disputing the fact that the dogs did some damage. I am disputing the fact that I didn't pay my rent on time. The $200 was in excess of the June 30th that I owed her, and I said when she came to my door and asked for a walkthrough, I think you have a copy of the letter that I wrote to her. She came while we were in the midst of trying to get moved and in the middle of an argument with my daughter and wanted to do a walkthrough. And I said, not now. I wasn't about to do a walkthrough. I paid my rent on time.
Why not?
She accepted all of my checks.
Why didn't you want to go through a walkthrough?
Because the house was in it looked like a cyclone hit it. We were trying to get ready to move. I was trying to be out by the
Wasn't
1st.
just damage.
No, it was because we had junk in the middle of the floors. It wasn't cleaned. I didn't have it prepared to turn over to her.
Was it clean when you moved out?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, I also brought some of the doorknobs where you can see where the dog actually bit down so hard that we had to replace them. And this was the handle that was inside the bathroom, and you can see the chew marks and on there. And that's just basically what the dogs did. They chewed. I don't know if you want to get up close and see them, but I mean.
Well, I'm not going to go out there to see them, but if you'll give them to
Here you go.
my bailiff, I'm sure I'll look at them.
And I wouldn't consider that normal wear and tear. And those were brand new.
I changed the doorknobs, so they weren't even your doorknobs.
Take a short recess. I'll come back, give you my decision.
I was at the incident, but right after it happened, I put them on their leash.
Pooh, turn around, please. Mixed Labrador and Bull Terrier.
Do you think the bill is way out of control?
That has nothing to do with what happened in this incident.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
Before I give you my decision, I want to clarify one thing with this. You give me this Carpet Mart, it's $9.92 COD, but there's a date on here, 8/17/88. What does that mean?
Actually, what happened is it shouldn't have had that. What happened is I had someone write something on there, and the writing had nothing to do with it.
Well, what is this 62 yards of carpeting?
The carpet is what went into the house. It was brand new carpet and was put in at the end of '91.
What, you have anything to say about the carpeting?
I admit that the dogs did some damage to the carpeting. In the front, the living room was damaged. The bedroom, one of the bedrooms I used for a storage room. The other one was my bedroom, not the whelping room. And it would have been more normal wear and tear. But the one room, the whole thing didn't need to be replaced.
Did part of it
The living room needed to be replaced, yes.
There's a written lease here, and there's no question in my mind, but what the terms were very explicit. As far as the late fees are concerned, it's written in caps, underlined, so that you knew about this when you entered into the premises. You were allowed one animal, one dog. You wound up with 10 dogs and a goat. I'm sure they're wonderful pets, or you use them for, you also bred dogs apparently. You said once a year. What else you did there with those pets, I don't know, but I get the impression that there was a real mess when you left. Not only the impression, but the evidence is very strong with respect to the work that was done. I have added up the bills. There's $3,565 for what the contractor charged. There's $883 in late fees, electrical fees, and so on. Brings a total of $4,448. I deduct the $700 deposit that was kept. Brings me to $3,748. I'm going to give the plaintiff half of the amount for the carpet. That's $496. So the total for the plaintiff, judgment for plaintiff, $4,244.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The damage that was done to the house, there was damage done. There was a door, etc. But she made quite a hefty little profit on this. The house was not to code when I rented it, and it probably is now. And it better be with all that money, Ginger.
I never got the chance to see the goat until today, but according to the neighbor, she was interested in a puppy mill.
I don't call a litter a year a puppy mill. We didn't even have a litter a year because we didn't start having puppies. And you can't breed Rottweilers until after they're 2 years old, at which time they're OFA'd. And I owned the mother and the father of my first litter. And he was 6 months old when I moved in there, so it was several years before we even had a puppy mill.
Well, excuse me, but I used to show AKC Springers, and I'm quite familiar with the show ring and the handling, and we talked about it. You just kind of forgot to tell me you were hiding the animals in the house.
Ginger, you came to my house all the time.
And not to mention the fact that people claim there were no 1, 2, 3 adults. There was up to 6 adults. Like she said today, she has some 6 months old. It's not a pretty smell if you're not set up for it.
They were in the bra, and I pulled them off right away.
A lot of the alleged pain killing and care he didn't think was necessary.
Your Honor.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You're claiming that the defendant's dog bit your dog?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where did this take place?
Your Honor.
If that keeps up, he's going to have to go out, because I can't hear a case with if he's going to be barking.
Your Honor, could I ask 2 things first, please?
What do you want to ask?
My wife is here as a witness, and she politely requests that she be asked to talk as little as possible.
Why?
She is from Korea and she is not comfortable speaking the English language yet.
Okay, all right. What kind of a dog do you have?
He's a mixed...
Can't see his face.
Pooh, turn around, please. Mixed Labrador and Bull Terrier.
Okay.
Sit.
2 strikes. The third one,
Pooh,
that'll be
sit.
it.
Good boy.
All right, I asked you where this took place, sir.
This took place in the city of Hollywood outside my apartment.
Okay. Was your dog on a leash?
Yes, he was.
Were you with the dog?
No, I wasn't, sir. I was in New Mexico with my father's funeral. My wife was walking the dog.
Okay. Well, who's going to tell me what happened? 'Cause
I will.
What you tell me is hearsay.
Yes, I agree, Your Honor. I have,
I'm
however,
glad you agree.
I have here an affidavit that has been notarized by someone who was a witness.
Okay. Have you shown it to the defendant?
Yes, I believe you did see it. It's under Vicky affidavit.
This witness is Vicky Abercrombie, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And she says that about 5:30 on June 17th, your 2 dogs were not on a leash and they attacked the plaintiff's dog. Were you there?
I was at the incident, but right after it happened, I put them on their leash. The reason...
That's like locking the barn after the horse has been stolen.
This is what happened. I took my dogs out and put them on the leash at the bottom of the stairs. When I go down the stairs in our building, there's 4 flights of stairs, 8 stairs, 8 stairs, 8 stairs, 8 stairs. At the bottom, I leash them. There was somebody moving in and out of the building that day, so I didn't have the opportunity to leash them at the bottom. They ran around the corner. And I stopped them as soon as I could, pulled them off, and put them
So
on
you
their
saw
leash.
them bite the plaintiff's dog?
I didn't. It was just right in the
You
middle.
say you pulled them off.
Right. They were in the brawl, and I pulled them off right away. And then I just went the other direction. The only girl that was there was her with her dog.
What's your defense to this? You know there is a leash law.
Right. It just so happens that there was somebody moving in and out of the building, which, I know it's my fault. But I had no control that day because the door was open. I do think the bill is way out of control, and I wasn't told to pay anything. I was given 2 phone calls without a phone number to call them back. I finally got a phone call the 3rd time he called. I called him back, and I got his machine.
Let's look at the vet fees. We have a bill of $668.25, a bill of $390.84, $227.50, totaling $1653.36. Then you got defendant's share of vet bills, $668.25. I don't follow that, sir.
Well, Your Honor, if you look, for example, on the June 20th vet bill,
Yes.
I have that highlighted.
That's the one, $668.25?
That's the one for $390.81. The reason I have that highlighted is because that has nothing to do with what happened in this incident. Obviously, my dog cleaning his teeth and so on is not due to the attack on his ear.
You have a witness here?
But my witness has talked to their vet, and she even said that it was a high bill.
You talked to their vet?
Yes.
No, sir.
I did, yes, Your Honor.
What's your name?
John Weaver.
Okay. When did you talk to their vet?
Well, I talked to their vet a day or 2 after Mr. Marcus mailed me this bill.
He mailed it to you?
Yes, he did.
Why did he mail it to you?
Well, because he never talked to Mona. At least I don't think he did. He left word with her a couple of times, but no phone number. I told Mr. Marcus on the telephone that I would try and take care of this thing for her, but that I wanted an itemized statement as to what happened. So he said, all right,
He sent you one?
Yeah. He sent this, and this is the one for $600 and some. And so I called the vet, and I said, what's all this on here, and why is there so much of it? And she said, kind of laughed, and she said, well, my dad's a vet too, or he's retired, and he saw this, and he said, well, I wouldn't have done anywhere near all that. So she admitted that it was...
Did he give you any specifics?
Well, yes. A lot of the alleged pain killing and care, he didn't think was necessary.
Do you have
They
an
left the
affidavit?
dog in the
Do you have an
hospital.
affidavit from the vet?
No, sir.
Did you ever talk to your vet about how high the bills were?
Yes, I told her, in fact, I told her that Dr. Weaver would indeed be calling her to dispute the charges, and she said, well, but I'm a vet. Is he a veterinarian? I said, no, he's an attorney. And she said, well, I did what I thought best. And
Did you pay the vet?
yes.
There is no question but what the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for the dog bite because her dogs were not on a leash. I think she has admitted it. What she has said is that the vet bills were far in excess of what was necessary to treat the dog. Just because you may have paid the bill doesn't mean it's fair and reasonable. You may have been taken. But I won't go into that as to whether you were or you weren't. There were some things that you admit shouldn't have been done, or at least you shouldn't charge to the defendant because they were things that were not necessary in the treatment of the dog's bite, or the dog bite, I should say. One of those is a bill for $390.81 for dental prophy, dental polishing, fluoride gel treatment, tumor removal. I don't know what has anything to do with a bite on the ear. Another thing I couldn't allow you was a booster shots that you got for the dog, including a parvovirus shot. These were shots that would normally be taken in the normal course of events, $227.50, and so on. So when I deduct what I believe not to be fair and reasonable for this defendant to pay, I come up with a judgment for plaintiff $554.38.
I'm not happy with the result, to be honest.
And then I do get a bill, but it was never spoken, anything to me about the bill. We never discussed it in any matter at all.
If you look at what I gave the judge, I highlighted what is not defendant's responsibility. I admitted that from the beginning. I subtracted that from the overall bill.
I've had my dog's teeth cleaned, and I know that they keep dogs overnight for that reason, and so that's added to the bill. I feel if something happens to my dog, I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, they haven't had their shots. Let's put some shots on the bill.
My wife has been unhappy with it. She still has guilty feelings about it because it's the first time she's taken care of my dog.
I just don't think she should have even been in control of the dog.